3, 2, 1.
My name is Whitworth, and today I'm here to talk to you about racism in football. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Today I'm here to talk to you about something that I believe is a serious and worsening topic. That topic is racism, more specifically racism in football. It is shocking to observe how many cases of racism go unpunished in professional football every year. It is actually a problem I've experienced at close quarters, along with the huge quantity of racist incidents that are reported in the media every single year. It is also a problem I believe we all have the power to fix through small acts of acceptance and generally educating people that we're all the same. That is the purpose of me speaking to you today, to share some personal experiences and to shed some light on the issue. You may be thinking, how can I, as a white male, ever have experienced racism and be able to talk about it accurately? One of my closest friends was actually racially abused during a football match during the 2016-17 season, when one of the players took it upon themselves to whisper anti-Asian racial slurs into his ear in an attempt to put him off. In reaction to this, my friend confronted the player, which was an action which resulted in him getting sent off, with no negative repercussions for the guilty player. To someone who's never played the game, losing a football match may not seem like that big of a deal. However, it hit my friend very hard because he felt it was his fault that his race had lost us the game. It would never have been the intention of the opposition player to make him feel like this, but that is the dangerous power of a general lack of knowledge of people of a different race. I don't believe there was any malice or genuine dislike of Asian people involved, so we all have to do our utmost to help everyone feel accepted and educate people on people of different race. As I'm sure you all know and be aware, racism is not a new problem. For hundreds, if not thousands of years, people of ethnic minority have been subjected to segregation, a lack of basic human rights, and even assault and physical abuse as a result of the colour of their skin. The chair of the organisation Kick It Out branded 2017 as a wake-up call for football because of the sheer quantity of racial abuse cases that were reported. There were over 450 cases, which is an increase of 16.7% from the previous year. Despite the hard work of organisations such as Kick It Out, we still have much work to do. There have been instances of bananas being thrown on the pitch, insults concerning people's culture and religion being said from opposition players, and even someone being more severely punished than others would have because of the colour of their skin. Much progress has been made, but there is still a lot to do. Finally, I'd like to ask you all a question. How would you feel if you were put in that situation, at work, on the street, or even in your own home, when someone said or did something derogatory because of something about you that you couldn't change? How would you feel? What emotions would go through your head? Anger, resentment, even self-loathing? These are all emotions that people who are subjected to racism feel on a daily basis. Racism is a plague that I believe we all must come together to cure because we would want the same for ourselves. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Thank you for listening. Are there any questions?
Any questions? Okay. You said about racism in football. Do you think it's do you think it exists between white players as well?
What do you mean?
Think about in Europe at the moment, players like countries like Poland playing Champions League matches against British teams. Do you think would you classify clashes like that as racist?
I mean, if someone is branding a player as less skillful than another player because of the colour of their skin or because of what country they come from, I wouldn't call it racism, but it is a very similar issue of judging someone purely on the way they look rather than their skill and ability as a player. So I'd say it's a slightly different issue, but yeah, quite similar.
Do you think it's just a European issue, or is it more of or is it also a worldwide issue?
I think it's definitely more prominent in England and Europe, but I have seen cases of the case of the banana being thrown on the pitch. That happened in an MLS game, which is Major League Soccer in America. So yeah, I think it is worldwide.
Guess the last question I've got is, what would you like to see happen?
As I mentioned before, I think there's not very many people that genuinely think that, you know, someone who's black is less good at football, or, you know, less of a nice person or whatever, purely because of the colour of their skin. I think it's more ignorance that, like, they've never really talked to or met anyone like that and actually got to know them and, you know, seen them as a person, as a player, so they're judging people based on what they've heard from other people. So yeah, I think educating people on people of our cultures and races is important.
Anything else?
How long do you think it would take for us to understand each other in football?
I feel that we should have a system put in where everyone can. So like there should be a limit on how many players of a certain race or religion or whatever can be in a team at one time, so that it's not all dominated by one. You know, so if it's in a black-dominated country, it can't be all black players, and some whites have to be integrated, and vice versa. In a white country, it can't all be whites, some blacks have to be included, so that as a team you would get to know each other, and then by knowing your teammates like that, you wouldn't judge other teams' players as, you know, anything other than how you know them.
Okay, thank you very much.